Yeah, start recording for YouTube. What's up, YouTube? And then we hit the go live for Facebook. Hopefully, Alan did everything right.
Pairing.
Oh, shoot. I just noticed I didn't have my mic amplifier on. I hope that didn't change anything.
Oh, we'll see if it did. And live video is starting. You are now live. Hot
Wonderful.
damn. We're starting to get good at this, Chili. You know, show 159, I think we're getting the hang of it.
Well, the fact that we just scramble and all of a sudden, okay, get to your desk. I've been out running around and that's why I was, you called me. I said, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we throw it together and here we are. Welcome, folks.
Yeah. Hope you guys are having a great Monday. All I'm going to do is share this to my Facebook page real quick. Because unfortunately, I have more friends on my regular Facebook than I do our page. And that's bullshit. If you're a friend of mine, you should follow my page. I'm just saying.
I'll buy that.
It's the AlfromDtown&Chili442 Show. Show 159, Evan. We're getting ready to crack 160 next week.
Not bad.
No, for a couple dudes that I don't know what I'm doing.
3.5 years we're about.
I know.
That's a really long time.
It is. It is. Hey, the only thing I'm going to ask of you guys tuning in is that if you like this show, share it to your page one time. You ain't got to share it every week. Just every once in a while, if you come in and you listen to the show, just hit that share button. Let your friends come in and check it out for a minute. They might not like us. They might be like, man, that Chili is a douche.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And, or they'd be like, look, that Al, too good looking. Can't watch him.
He's too man pretty.
I have been accused of being man pretty before. So,
Yeah.
man, I tell you what, we usually do this at the end of the show, but I just want to take a second, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys that listen and that click our little buttons or whatever. And last week was one of our biggest shows on Facebook. So thank you. And we got a YouTube page too. I don't push the YouTube page. The YouTube page is usually for people that don't have Facebook. But hey, if you're on YouTube and you're watching us, share that too. Share it on any platform. We don't care. And I do share. I share it on X. I think I got 6 followers on X. But I don't post shit. So I just post our show.
I'm not there.
But anyway, hope you guys had a great weekend. It's kind of a beautiful day in Central Illinois.
We did have a nice weekend.
Man, it wasn't bad at all. I worked. Man, I don't want to talk about it, but I worked a lot.
That sucks.
I know, but I'm working and I'm learning at the same time. So it's almost like I'm going to school. So I'm getting these big ass jobs that I have never freaking done in my life, but I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, okay.
Does it make the time go fast or slow?
Very fast. My days
that's good.
Yeah, my days go by quick, dude. Almost too quick. I almost want to get a couple more hours in on the work that I'm doing because it's like, oh shit. Because you got to think, this is my first time. So when I go to put a motor back together, there are times where I'll put something on and be like, oh shit, I shouldn't have put that on yet. And have to take it back off and then put it back on and then take it back off and then, oh shit, that don't fit right. Take it back off and then put it back on. I have put the same part on a car 45 times.
But you make sure it's right, and that's what counts. And
That's right.
that's unfortunately the the way the book hours go. Guys are like, hey, this is the job that pays this, and I've got to get out the door, and it's slam it together, twist the key, hope everything's right, and get out the door, and things aren't always right. It's
Yeah.
funny when you've seen a car that's been in a mechanic and they put together they throw things back together, brake clips, fasteners, all kinds of stuff, and that's not cool.
Yeah, not at all. I like to show everybody I'm wearing my Easter shirt this year, 420.
That's yeah, 2 holidays, one day actually, and actually Passover. Really, I mean Orthodox. I grew up Orthodox, Greek
Yes.
Orthodox,
Yes.
and we celebrate Passover like the Jewish faith. It's not the same as the Jewish faith, but we observe it. But actually, it lines up with regular Easter this year, which is pretty rare. It's usually our
Yeah.
Passover's a week or two behind, but it can be up to like almost 6 weeks behind. And this year they lined together. So
Yeah, I
Um,
remember.
so yeah, a whole lot of holidays coming up Sunday.
Yeah, I remember, man, several years ago when we were neighbors, when we lived across the street, and you were getting ready to go to Easter dinner, and it was like 1st of May. And I was like, what? Easter's past, dude. You're late.
Yeah, usually we used to joke that we get the good deals on all the Easter candy, being a week or two behind.
Oh, yeah.
But
you
we
would.
joked that year we got the early sales on the Halloween candy. It was so late. Dang, Easter, yeah, we're scoring some candy. Halloween stuff's out.
Man.
Mhm.
Evan, we're going to get to some, we got some weird and wacky news from around the world I want to hit real quick. And, I don't know. Wait a minute. Do you got a lot of interesting shit going on right now. We'll push news off for a minute.
Hmm?
You got a lot of chickens.
That's what I said earlier. I was running around. We decided we got in the garage and they get stinky.
Oh yeah, they're supposed to be outside.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and they're about to that point. So 2 of them are 8 weeks old, but one turned out to be a rooster. It's been, letting us know that it knows it's morning time.
Yeah,
And it's like we can't have that.
I saw the video.
Yeah. So anyway, Venus got rehomed today. Venus with the penis got rehomed. These people came. They're giving it to their daughter to kind of have as their kind of pet. It's a silkie, and silkies are like they're little white pom poms. And some of them don't look. They kind of look raggedy. And then there's like show silkies, like really like show
okay.
silkies. And these aren't that, but they're really. We got 2 good-looking little silkies. Anyway, these people took one as their pet. They're giving it to their daughter, and these people had insane. They got a farm, and I don't know. You got to crack up about. I'm getting off subject, but rich farmers. These guys come in. They talk about all the chickens they got. Plus, they got horses, they got pigs, and all this stuff. But they say that they're not selling eggs. But he's spending $200 a week in chicken feed.
Oh shit, he's selling eggs.
And Vicky's like, okay, you're either loaded or you're like farm rich, cash poor. And they're like, oh, we're farm rich, cash poor. That's what all rich farmers will tell you.
Yeah.
So anyway, these people talked to us for a little bit, and they took Venus with. And it sucked because the pens that we have them in the garage are like these 4-foot by 8-foot animal pens, and which is really works well. They got range to run around, but to get them out, if you get on one side and try to get them out, they run to the other side.
Yeah, so you pretty much got to crawl in there.
Well, you got to have a person at each end to kind of like persuade one direction so you can kind of grab it. And anyway, so I grabbed Venus earlier, and I got her out of there, and I don't hold them much, and they don't like to be held much when they're little. and that thing was so damn chill. And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna miss you. But anyway, they took it away, and then so the other one started crying a little bit. It's like, man, you got chickens crying, like they grew up together. They were, brother and sister, from day one, and they've been with us. And it's like, we just separated them. So then we also made the decision to move the chickens, the bigger ones, to the coop tonight. The two that were left of the bigger ones. And that's a weird thing with chickens. Sometimes they really take onto the coop, and sometimes they don't. They need to go into the coop at night for safety.
Yeah.
And usually have an automatic door. But it's how you get them to, get started. Sometimes it takes a couple nights of you having to go out there at the dark and put them all away and everything until they kind of catch on.
Right.
Or you decide right at bedtime, stick them in the coop, and they don't know what the hell's going on. And then they wake up in the morning and they're like, hey, it's a new day and a new home,
Yeah.
and leave them in there for like 2 days. Just lock them in that coop so they know this is your new home. And then you start to let them out into the run where they can roam around and feed and all that stuff. So,
Man, I tell you what, one of these days, I got another microphone here with a cord and everything. I'm gonna have my homeboy Clayton come in because he's got about 200 fucking layers.
wow.
Yeah.
That's big scale,
Yeah, he ain't messing around. So we'll have to talk to him, have him come in and talk about chickens
Yeah.
and shit. Now I'll eat some fried chicken.
Oh, I love fried chicken.
And-
That's the weird thing is what you do. People talk about when they have a rooster that some roosters are really tough to deal with, and a lot of people don't know how to handle them. But a rooster's there to protect his flock,
Right.
But they can be real assholes, and they can attack people and kids because they're there to protect their flock.
Well, yeah.
And so sometimes people, they talk about some chickens need they call it freezer therapy, or go to freezer camp, or a little crock pot therapy, and it's like I can't do that. I couldn't kill this chicken after raising this thing for the last 2 months from this little thing in the palm of my hand into this beautiful little pom pom,
Right, right.
I'm not culling it. I'm not breaking its neck. If somebody's gonna do anything with it, they can do that. That's their decision. I don't want to see it. I'm not.
See,
Yeah, I can't do that yet.
Yeah, one thing I do, I love steak, and I love cows. I can pet a cow and get them, I know where to pet them to get them to fucking like lay their head down and shit. But god dang,
Yeah.
I could not run a cattle farm. Or if I did, I'd never go in the butchering part.
Oh, people say cows have real personalities.
They say that about every animal. And they do, except
Okay.
fish. Fish don't have no feelings according to Nirvana.
People say that the chickens have personality. They're little birds, man. I mean, they pretty much act on instinct. They may be a little more dominant or a little more affectionate, but it's a little bird. You're not going to get, it's not like a pit bull, that really
Right.
has pit bulls have freaking personalities. They have senses of humor. You know what I mean?
They do. Yeah.
They really do. They can almost joke and play with you on some stuff. A chicken is a chicken. It knows that after a while that you're the provider. You're the guy that comes and sits down with a handful of feed.
Yeah.
But other than that, yes, everything has personality. But in a way, it's all just a little dumb animal acting on instinct.
Right. Right.
But they're cute and they're fun. I mean, I'm enjoying this. It's it's something new to learn about, but it's work getting it all set up. So, yeah, yesterday Vicky's nephew was over and he helped finish the skirting around the bottom of the coop. It's like open underneath, and I put skirting underneath there so they go underneath and do their dust bath, and it's all protected. And you have to protect everything from, even though they're locked up at night, any predators that can try to get into.
And you're right there by that river too. Oh man, there's foxes, coyotes,
Raccoons,
raccoons.
all those stuff
Yeah, and I tell you what, man, yeah, you almost got a Fort Knox at.
That's what I've done. I mean, this coop is yes, it's locked up. There's no way anything is getting into it, and then they call it a run, but it's just a pen. It's an 8x8 pen attached to the coop, and then I'm going to do skirting with that. Would you take like hardware cloth, that 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square mesh, and you bury it into the ground so that nothing can dig underneath and get in, and so it's some work making everything secure. But yeah, it's overkill, but you don't want to say, oh man, I lost 8 chickens last night because I shoulda, woulda,
Right.
I should have done this, but I didn't think it'd be a problem. No, you kind of almost have to go overkill just to make sure, because when you raise little things from, they are your pets.
Right.
you
Right.
know, as affectionate or unaffectionate as they may be, they are still your pets, and it's a lot of work raising them from babies. You got to tend to them after they're grown. You go out there and feed and water them every day, and they do their thing.
Yeah.
They go in the coop at night. The door shuts. They sleep. The door opens in the morning. They come out and party. That's all they do.
I think I just proved you wrong on that theory, because Tanner is damn near 2 years old with 14 babies.
They say chickens are easier than a dog, but it's like anything else. It's getting everything set up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a lot of work and expense. So like we said before, it's like 3 years before it really pays for itself.
Yeah. Phew.
Yeah.
Evan, let's get to some weird and wacky news. You ready? Because I got some stories you're gonna love. Cops investigating if Missouri foster mom traded a kid for a monkey.
Oh man.
Good trade.
Wow.
A monkey ain't never gonna ask you for money or a ride or nothing like that. I'm just saying. I'm not telling you to do nothing, but if, I'm just saying.
I better not catch you wearing that T-shirt that says "Mom of the Year." I'll punch you in the face.
Yeah. Oh man, they do have a picture of her, Evan. Boy, I gotta show this. I gotta show this, Evan. Hold on real quick. Oh my goodness, this lady. She has traded. There we go. We'll transition that real quick. Let you take a gander. This is a lady that, God dang, it looks like an 80s hairband guitarist.
I'm waiting.
It'll pop up. That is rough. That is rough. We might have a little delay. I think it popped up.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. I'm trying to.
So there you go. That lady traded a kid for a monkey.
That's messed up.
Oh. Cops bust drunk man wearing pink thong, fake breasts, and pink wig. He was arrested Friday evening for causing a disturbance outside a chain restaurant.
That would be a disturbance anywhere except for like a Key West parade.
Where concerned diners had their eating good in the neighborhood. Look, Applebee's is the motherfucking Dollar General of the fucking restaurants now. Everything happens at Applebee's, man.
I just can't imagine sitting there and like, are you ready to order? And you look outside and there's a guy out there in a pink thong and fake breasts and like, I'm sorry, I've just lost my appetite.
He was, Evan, it says he was so intoxicated that he was unable to provide for his own safety and well-being. He was stumbling around the Applebee's parking lot in Clearwater, Florida.
Oh, Florida. Florida man trans.
Man 45 committed battery on 3 kids after being denied free refills at their lemonade stand.
This man's 45 years old and he beat up 3 kids because he couldn't get a free refill from their lemonade stand. Am I hearing this correctly?
Yes, sir.
Man, what do you think? Life with no
Yeah,
no parole?
yeah.
Where do you go with this one?
He's done. You just look. If you and I'm not laughing because I think it's funny that kids got beat up. I'm laughing because people are fucking ignorant. And this was also in Clearwater, Florida.
this is the laughter of the nervousness of the absurdity of everything, and it's scary. Like these people are out there.
He purchased one glass of lemonade, then became angry when he was not allowed to refill his cup. He grabbed the victim by the wrist aggressively while standing in a fighting stance, telling the victim he would beat her up.
Does the sign say free refills?
No. He was charged with felony battery, and it's an enhanced count to his extensive rap sheet, which includes multiple convictions for battery, as well as convictions for trespassing, narcotics, possession, disorderly intoxication, assault with a deadly weapon, theft, and disorderly conduct. Doesn't sound like the guy should have been out.
Or near kids. Yeah. I'm not surprised this is his first offense.
Yeah. What a douche. Well, Stephen Cusimano, you're a douchebag.
I hope you get beat up in jail.
Yeah, real bad.
And you will.
You should.
Word gets out, or word gets in.
There's another clown arrested. Evan, a couple weeks ago, we had a news story about a clown being arrested dressed like Ronald McDonald. Remember that?
Yes.
He was arrested again. Same guy. This time, a cop pulled up and said, "You look like Ronald McDonald." He said, "No shit. I am, stupid."
Way to start a conversation with a police officer.
The cop got out. He shoved the cop. Yeah.
Strike 2.
Yeah. So this is he's locked up with $5,500 bond if anybody would like to bail him out, and he is scheduled for arraignment on April 17th.
I will not be bailing him out. Clowns. Man.
Helicopter crash in South Africa blamed on unsecured penguin.
Oh, shoot. Penguin caused a wreck?
Man.
They just had a penguin wandering around in the helicopter?
It said a low-altitude helicopter crash that didn't result in any injuries
Must have been real low altitude.
was caused by an unusual passenger famous for its lack of flight experience, a penguin. Said the pilot and 3 human passengers landed on Bird Island off the Eastern Cape on January 19th. They said a penguin jumped up inside the cockpit and, they tried to get it to go. Wouldn't go, Evan. Motherfucker was like, nope, going where you guys go. Well, it started to take off. The penguin, they got the penguin off the helicopter. It jumped back in, hit the control, plane crashed.
Wow.
There you go.
You're either taking me with you or you're not going anywhere.
Uh,
Aggressive penguin. Wow.
the helicopter, which landed on its side, sustained serious damage, but no human or penguin passengers were harmed, Evan.
Fantastic.
I love it.
That's a crazy one.
A woman calls AAA during a standoff to fix a flat tire that the police had just spiked, Evan.
That's gold.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
We're in Utah where a 45-year-old woman was arrested Wednesday and accused of leading police on a high-speed chase on I-70 and then calling for roadside assistance after officers spiked her tire.
Man, can you imagine being more detached? That's pretty good. Yeah, I got a flat. I need somebody to come out and fix it
Oh my God.
so we can continue this high pursuit chase. I'll be right there.
Jesus.
Oh, world's insane.
Oh my God. And if you don't think it is, just listen to this show.
True.
We got another one. Central Florida woman arrested after selling human bones in curio store. If you
Where'd she get? Wait a minute. Where'd she get the bones?
I don't know, but remember we had a lady that boy, this lady looks like she'd sell bones. Hold on. we gotta put her picture up. If you remember, Evan, a couple weeks ago, we had the lady that was tried to sell some toes.
Yeah, on the black market.
Yeah, this lady, boy.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, it'll take a minute. And there we go. So yeah, Evan, she
Doesn't look that crazy, but
I don't know.
She kind of does.
Yeah,
She
them
does look
eyes, boy.
pretty looking.
There's something in those eyes. I read people by their eyes a lot.
Pretty smart.
According to police, the store had reportedly been advertising various human bones on its Facebook page, complete with pricing details. 2 human skull fragments, Evan. What do you think those will run you?
I have no idea. I haven't shopped around lately. I'm guessing $100 a piece. Easy.
Oh, close, Evan. 90 bones.
90 bones.
Yeah, what do you think a human rib was going for, Evan, on this Facebook market page?
Oh, that'd be a little cooler to have. I'd go 200.
No, lower, Evan. Way lower.
Really?
Yeah, you're talking 1 human rib. You don't get the rib cage.
Okay, $50.
Oh, close. 35. What does a partial human skull go for?
Oh, I could see that being $500.
Oh, Evan, so close. 600.
Woohoo! Big money.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on, I think, if it was part blown away by a shotgun or what we have here.
She confirmed that the store had multiple human bone fragments, all purchased from private sellers, and mentioned she has documentation for all these transactions, but could not provide it at the time.
Yeah. Oh, I got all that in the back room. I'll be right back. Man, if any Blind Melon fans are out there, you got to be thinking of the song "Skinned" in your head. It's about serial killer and using body parts for things.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Here's some of them. There were human bones were currently being held as evidence in the case and would not be released at this time. In years to follow, several of the bones were examined by experts who found the following. The confiscated cranium belonged to an adult man and was likely an archaeological find. A lot of them were. Another bone sample suggested an age of over 500 years old.
That's good. Wasn't recent stuff then.
Yeah, what I think happened is probably, look, because no matter where you dig, more than likely you're going to find bones.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we keep burying our dead, in
I
graves.
found a bone in my house by the porch of William Street.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that.
Where it was all rock in there before I made that concrete across there and bricked it in. But
Look,
there were some chunks of bones. I don't know what they were from.
That's
Big
crazy.
knuckles.
Yeah. Man. So there you go.
Well, that's good that she's not getting them from some black market from.
Or she killed a bunch of people. But she's still in jail for some reason and doesn't say why.
They're doing a whole investigation.
But why would she still? I mean, you think she'd have a bond. Unless, I don't know. Maybe there's more of that story. We'll find out.
It's just weird.
Hacked crosswalk oh my God. Hacked crosswalk buttons in California play AI generated Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg voice clips, mocking democracy and begging for friends.
That's an interesting hack.
I like that. That's kind of funny.
I've never heard of the crosswalks being hacked like that.
Oh,
Those construction signs where like, slow down ahead or, move to left lane or, that kind of stuff. They're like on a trailer, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Most of those, there's a box down the bottom, and if you open them up, if they're not locked, there's a keyboard inside with like a little display on there, and you can type in whatever message, but you can delete them and change anything you want on the fly if you can get in there. There's not much to them.
Jeez.
It'd be fun to hack one of those.
Oh, yeah. Well, Evan, I think that's about it on the weird and wacky news from around the world, but before we end that, we got to go to our buddy Dave Moreland and the bozo criminal of the day. And last week, it was about a Tesla being vandalized.
Oh, no.
This week, Evan, it's about a Tesla. We're starting to see a pattern here, I think. This one, Tampa, Florida, where Dexter Hayes went to the local Tesla dealership to test drive a Cybertruck. After filling out the paperwork and giving them his driver's license, our bozo took the truck for a spin, Evan, and never came back. Repeated phone calls and emails got no response. But the truck's geolocation tracking enabled the salesperson to track him down at the Home Depot, Evan.
He's going to haul something in that tiny bed?
I guess. But anyway, the salesperson got in the truck and left. Reported the incident to police. Should be the end of the story, right, Evan?
Mm-hmm.
No. This guy comes back the next day, mad, with a baseball bat, demanding his belongings that he left behind in the truck. The cops were called. While searching the bozo, they found 5 credit bank cards in the name of 5 different people.
Wow.
Charged with grand theft of more than $100,000 and unlawful possession of personal identification.
Got away with it for a while.
What a douche.
Okay, I'm curious about one thing because I never go to dealerships. I don't test drive cars. I just don't ever go to a car dealership. Are all new cars? Do dealers put trackers on them until they sell? Or is this
Uh,
something with all new cars that they all just kind of have
they all
trackers? And
got
I don't know this.
they all got navigation, right?
Okay. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
So you can track every car.
I never thought about it.
Yeah.
I know some people that have bought trackers and put them on cars. It's usually
You
one of
don't
those.
need to unless they get in there and disconnect their whole navigation system. There's usually like the newer cars, they got the SOS button and everything. The maybe not the dealer, but I mean somebody knows where that car is at all
Okay.
times.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I could see that. I could see rental agencies and all that stuff. I didn't think about that. That pretty much, yeah. And every vehicle can be tracked through, those ways.
Yeah.
I'm just so into the old school stuff. I don't think about. I mean, our newest vehicle's I guess a 16. We've got a 15 and a 16.
Well,
These are 10-year-old vehicles.
like when we get a new vehicle and it comes off the trailer or whatever, and we have to hook a computer to that. We have to unhook it out of transport mode, and then there's like sometimes up to 20 satellites that can track that car.
Really
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Man, I never thought about it, but it just makes sense with new systems. And I know Ford. I could see them tracking as long as you are making a payment or the bank to do that. And I know, was it Ford was doing that? If you financed through them, if you didn't make a payment, they could start like switching off features, like turn off your air conditioner remotely.
Oh shit.
Things like, like make things rough on you. Like, hey, you need to, make your payment there, unless you like sweating your balls off. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm just kind of been out of it, and it's interesting to think about all the electronics and the tracking. I always think it's more like the electric vehicles, but all vehicles these days are pretty much tracked.
Evan, we got a couple lists tonight. We'll just do a few. And then I kind of want to do the thing we've been doing with our question of the night for me and Evan. But this one is 6 cheery old ads for stuff that is now totally illegal.
Like doctors used to advertise cigarettes and stuff.
Well, 6. Number 6 on the list, chlorine gas, the cure for the common cold.
It doesn't sound safe.
People already knew chlorine gas was deadly before this 1925 ad. The military manufactured the stuff as a weapon in such facilities as a chemical plant in Maryland. But during the pandemic following the 1918 flu, doctors noticed, 1918 flu. Doctors noticed that the workers at the Maryland plant didn't suffer from the flu as badly as the other people. So they decided to
connect the dots.
Yeah. Formaldehyde for your milk, Evan.
To preserve it?
Milk isn't so fun to drink once it goes chunky. Well, back here in 1908, people thought if you put...
Really?
Yeah. Fuck that.
Formaldehyde. Yeah. That's a preservative. That's nasty.
The promises of lead paint. And it shows an old miner here with a jackass on a mining cart. And it says, I hope the lead I'm mining will be used in your paint.
Man, there's nothing wrong with lead paint.
No, as long as you ain't eating it.
Right. As long as kids aren't chewing on the flakes and stuff, then you're usually pretty good.
Number 3, beer for children.
Help them sleep just a little bit.
Yeah, laws on selling alcohol to children go back surprisingly far, Evan.
Not surprised.
Washington State, they passed a law stopping vendors from selling alcohol to minors way back in 1877. It says, however, just because a store couldn't sell a child a keg didn't mean their private individuals would be penalized for splitting a drink with a beloved grandchild.
Man, little kids are a handful as it is. Last thing you want is them to have a kegger. Yeah. No way.
Number 2 on the list is just plain heroin, Evan.
Okay.
Heroin, of course, began as a medicine because opioids don't just grow on trees. They grow on poppies.
Right.
So there you go. A 1914 ad targeting doctors advertised the correct dosage for heroin. An adult could take a teaspoon every few hours.
Yeah, I mean, cocaine and heroin and all the stuff that was prescribed in the 1800s.
And Evan, the last one on the list, let's all sing about DDT.
Till we get cancer?
DDT is good for me, is what they used to say, Evan. In 1947. And then we realized what the fuck it does.
Have you ever heard stories about kids who used to fog neighborhoods and kids would run behind the trucks when they were fogging them, for fun, and they died of cancer at young adults, Yeah, nasty. That's what's in off. Don't use that stuff. Don't spray it on your body.
No. Yeah. Oh, I have. I've sprayed so much DDT on me. It's pathetic. I'm surprised I'm still alive, honestly.
Good call.
I have just abused me.
That's true, you have.
Anyway, we'll switch on this next list real quick, Evan. 15 things that used to be perfectly legal, but now will get you fined. Evan, first one on the list, jaywalking. Have you ever been stopped for jaywalking?
That's when the cops really got too much time on it. I understand, but come on.
Look, if you're being a douchebag and like running in front of cars and stuff, yeah. But if you're just like, hey man, I gotta jog across this street, I'm smart enough and I played enough games of Frogger, I got this shit.
I'm with you.
Next on the list is an ad. And then smoking in public places.
Yeah, that's gone past.
Yeah. Used to be able to smoke inside places. I think you still can a few casinos in Vegas. That's about it. Not wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah, that too. They'll bust you for that.
Man, they can pull you over for that, which I think is bullshit.
I remember going by one of those Decatur. They were doing that years ago, and on Main Street, they had cops staked out, and they said they were, doing seatbelt checks. And I cruised by my '68. It's a convertible. It's got lap belts.
Yep.
And I just waved to them like, "Oh, you can't see. What are you gonna do? Chase me down?"
See,
It's
and that
kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, find a better use for your time.
A lot better use. And a lot better use of our taxpayer dollars. Texting while driving.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
They had to make a law because people were doing it
yeah.
and wrecking.
But here's my thing on that. Have you seen some of the fucking screens in these new vehicles? Some
Oh,
of these suckers are like 15, 16 inches wide, and it's like, that's like a damn, and then everything's on it.
It's your whole computer monitor. Well, yes, I hate it. I absolutely hate these touch screens that you have to look.
It
And
is
to do
more
something.
of a distraction than a phone is. I'm sorry to say, but I know.
agree.
I see I've seen every new vehicle out on the market since 2024. And the screens are getting bigger and everything. Look, the elderly, they can't work that shit. I don't know how many times I've had to go and show somebody how to work their, oh, they can't figure this out. They can't figure this out. Because it's, it's all on a screen now.
It's horrible, and I'm surprised the government hasn't stepped in and regulated this. Years ago, Consumer Reports, man, talk about the power the Consumer Reports had. But Ford's InSync or whatever system that they had, their first generation, we have a Ford Flex. So if you have a Ford, you know what I'm talking about. This system was so bad that Consumer Reports railed them.
Yeah.
To the point that Ford met with Consumer Reports and said, what do we need to do? What would make you happy? Help us, help us. And they redesigned, Consumer Reports redesigned, it helped. I mean, gave them a whole bunch of suggestions. They redesigned the system. Consumer Reports still reamed them on it. It's still bad. I don't like that if I'm going down the road and I want to put my heated seat on, I can't do it besides pulling up a menu on the flat screen. I can adjust the fan speed and the temperature and the radio volume with knobs, but anything else you've got to go in, and it's just an absolute distraction. You should be able to do everything by feel in a car. If you've owned that car more than a couple weeks, your hand should be able to reach and fall right on the radio knob, the heater knob, or whatever you need.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to, or flip a switch for your seats. You should know where the a high or low, and that's all you really need. Come on, why do we need 3 settings? It's just cars are just. I don't want to get started because they've just gone too far. The non-serviceability and the overall insane complexion for no reason.
Yeah.
The CAN bus systems that these things run on, it's unreal.
Yeah, it is. And one of them systems goes bad, and you're talking some major money. And somebody that's in that field and that is certified and that's going to do that electrical work, he ain't cheap. So,
no, but what happens when that car gets 10 years old and the third tier person down the road, they can't afford to take it back to the dealership for all this crazy programming? Well, the cars that you have to reprogram just because you change a battery, that's out of the realm of your normal O'Reilly's, staffer.
yeah, right.
Right. It's the complexity, and I just wonder where we're going to be in some years where now you're seeing cars that end up in the junkyard and they don't have a scratch on them, but engine's broke or there's some other system that is down and no one could figure it out, and finally they just auctioned off and scrapped. But they're perfect cars, and it's like, no, this is really we've got to stop this. And I don't know if it's the government trying to push the CAFE standards of miles per gallon so much that we got to make everything so light and thin and, that it just fails. But just the overall complexity, we've just taken cars too far. People say that, the automotive industry kind of peaked in like the 2000s, around that era. That was where you had good quality cars. You had all the features you need, the heated seats, the electric this, mirrors, and all the other stuff, but not the insane complexity, and they could still be worked on.
Right.
by normal people. And
Yeah.
now new cars, you can't even get your hand inside the engine compartment in a lot of places.
Man.
You got to be a contortionist to just get down in places, and you got to have the fancy tools that pivot all those, ratchet head wrenches and stuff. It's nuts. Sorry, I'm preaching to the choir.
Oh, I know you are. 15 things that used to be perfectly legal, but now will get you fined. Letting your dogs roam free. I don't think that's been a thing for a while.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
This one, collecting rainwater.
Yeah, we collect rainwater, and Illinois is good on that, but some states you cannot.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
We've got 2 rain barrels, and yeah, I like them. For watering the garden stuff. Why not?
Yeah. Feeding pigeons in certain cities.
Yeah.
Man, pigeon poop. Oof. If you got a lot of pigeons, be careful. Spitting on the sidewalk. Believe it or not, spitting in public can get you in trouble.
Can I back up? I forgot to tell you, when we were in Japan, they've got pigeons with red eyes.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Crazy looking.
Yeah, they look evil.
Yes. Anyway, sorry, I had to throw that out.
I lived in a town that had this law, but now I can burn what the fuck I want. Burning leaves in your yard. I can actually burn leaves here.
Same here. Decatur, you couldn't.
No.
And you remember the first year they tried to do this program where you put all your leaves like on the curb, and then they come around with a big sucker and suck up and grind all your leaves in a big semi? That did not go over.
No, they did. That did not last. I don't remember how long, but maybe 3 or 4 months, and they fell so far behind. They were getting so many complaints.
It was one of those things where government trying to create government creating a problem, trying to, create a. Never mind.
Yeah. Which I don't know why we're fighting carbon so much when trees and fucking plants like absorb carbon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes them flourish. So
yeah, plant food, CO2.
So playing loud music in your car, I do it every day. Although I don't have like it's just a regular system. So
that trend, it's pretty rare to hear a booming car like you used to years ago, like when that was really popular 25 years ago, 20 years ago, when everybody was really getting to the big amps and the big subwoofers. And yeah, I don't know if it's police cracking down or what it is, but it's really not too often that you're sitting at a stoplight, somebody starts shaking your car. Like it used to be, like every stoplight somebody pull up, and it's like, wow. Missed those days almost. It was kind of humorous.
Yeah. Drinking alcohol in public.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really do that. Unless you're in like, there's certain places, Vegas, Louisiana, using plastic bags in some states. Dumbest thing ever. Although we do need to, I don't know, them recycled bags.
The thing that kills me is when you go to the grocery store and they, like Kroger's, if I was to bag my groceries, I would walk out of there with 4 bags. If they bag my groceries, I walk out of there with 25 bags.
Yeah.
They put 2 or 3 items in every single bag, and I'm like, this is a big waste of plastic. Come on. Florida's worried about, or California worried about their straws. Kroger says, hold my beer.
Yeah, no shit. Collecting driftwood or seashells from beaches.
Oh, my.
Yeah, they're fucking dead, most of them. I know you can't take live ones. You're not supposed to take live ones. But if it's dead, it's dead. What the fuck are you going to do with a dead seashell? Using your phone while walking in certain areas. Oh my God, that is not a thing here, but it should be.
We used to hear about a Milliken kid getting hit like once a year.
Yeah.
Walking across one of the college students walking across the walk with their, eyes buried on their phone.
Picking wildflowers in certain areas.
Oh man.
I'd fucking be pissed. Pick a flower for some hooker and then
She turns out to be an undercover cop and arrest you for it.
yeah. We got one more list, Evan. I wanted to go through a few of these. We won't go through all of them. But these are 18 phrases that offend sensitive people but make sense to the rest of us.
Oh no.
Life's not fair.
Yeah, it's true.
Toughen up. Man, we need a lot of that. We need a lot of that toughen up shit. Get over it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. That's my favorite saying. I don't give a shit. Because it's true.
Yeah.
There ain't shit you can do about it. What's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah. Don't waste your time getting worked up over it.
Yeah. Calm down. Being told to calm down can instantly irritate someone who is already upset, but it's usually said with the hope of defusing a tense situation. Calm down, bitch.
It's like me talking to my chickens. It doesn't work.
No. That's life.
Yeah.
Look, life's a shit box. And it's just how you manage to get through it.
It can be rough. It can be very rough.
And it is. I mean, shit. You're going to look at shit and go, man, this is fucked up. I'm doing everything good. This dude ain't doing shit. You know, coasting through life, getting everything handed to him. I'm working my ass off. I ain't getting nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Next one on the list is suck it up. I like that one. This one, I have never said this shit, but I thought it so many times. I told you so. I told you
so.
I told you.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Not my
That
problem.
can be offensive.
Man, that not my problem. That man.
I hate that one. I mean, sometimes I get it, but other times it's in the workplace where somebody's just like, oh, not my problem. No, you know. Okay.
You can't please everyone.
True.
Grow up.
Yeah. I've said that to some people, and it does bother people.
Yeah, well, it should, because they need to probably grow the fuck up.
I don't say it often, but
man. So that's it for our list tonight.
All right.
So, Evan, we always end our show with a question or two of the evening.
These are tough. I mean, they're not, but sometimes they're one of those things where I would almost like to have more time to sit and think about it. But
I know. And these two are going to get you. What do you like most about being an adult?
just absolutely being able to make my own decision. I hated being a kid and, you know, being told what to do all the time. Do this, do this, do this, you know. I think just being an adult that I could do whatever I want. I'm unsupervised.
I think I'm with you. I think I am with you on that one. Yeah, I can't say, I can't really add anything. That's it. That's the thing. But mine was a little different. I was put on my own at an early age. So I don't remember too much about, you know, being told what to do. But yeah, I mean, I think that would have to be number one. Just being able to do what the fuck you want to do.
Yeah. It's that freedom.
Yeah. Evan,
I guess.
the last one. What are your thoughts on aging?
Man, because I was just thinking part of that has to do with aging as you get older. You just
Yeah.
kind of you you become unhindered thoughts on age. What are my thoughts on aging?
Yeah. I'll tell you mine. I I like it and I hate it. I love it for the fact that mentally I'm growing. Physically, I'm not growing. Physically, the older you get, and me being in my 50s, I realize I'm not as strong as I was 10, 15 years ago. When I go to pick up something heavy, I realize, oh shit. However, in that same, I know how to pick up that heavy item a lot better, or I know if I need help. So it's kind of a give and take because my mental is a lot stronger than my physical now. When I was younger, my physical was a lot stronger than my mental.
Hmm.
So if that makes sense.
It absolutely does. And after somebody who's been sick, for 3.5 years, who used to just have insane energy, work all day, come home, thrash on the car, do whatever, out partying, come home, sleep, boom, back at it. Yes, that is one of those things to be sick and then realize as I get older, I'm not going to have the ability to do those things that I used to. So I'm with you on the physical part. The another part of getting older is, although I don't really feel mature, I know more things. I still have enthusiasm for new stuff, like I did when I was a kid.
Right.
As you get older, you realize how much knowledge you've accumulated, and you realize that a lot of people haven't, and
Oh,
that's kind of gets really scary. Um, you know what I mean? Not to
yeah.
say all, society's getting dumber and dumber. I don't want to get cliche, but you realize when you're younger, you think that people, let's say you looked at those people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, you're like, they're experts. They got their shit together. They really know what's going on. Then you get to that age and you really realize the rest of those people, they don't. They're
No.
winging it. They're winging it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to look around, you're like, the people I thought were experts, there are no experts. And the people, then you learn more, and then you hear the talking heads, the young people on TV talking about politics or on the social media shit, and you're like, these people are really clueless. We're in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things. As you get older, you don't get smarter, so to speak, but you gain knowledge and wisdom, and like I said, that becomes kind of a torture when you realize that how stupid the world is.
Yeah.
Quite often, the
I,
things that people are doing, you're like scratch your head daily, like, oh my god, this doesn't make sense. Is this really real world?
right.
Where when I was 20, I didn't say those things to myself on a daily basis.
And I'd like to add to that. I think when you get older, your bullshit sensor kind of gets more aware that if somebody really doesn't know what they're fucking talking about, you pick that up.
Yes, that the bullshit sensor and just propaganda. When you really know,
Yeah.
after you get older, you realize you know what's going on, and then you hear somebody saying something, and they're saying with integrity and everything, but you're like, this is bullshit. This is propaganda. This is yeah, that's it. But like I said, it's a scary thing. The more you learn, the the scarier it gets.
Yeah, it does. Evan, let's get going. We're sitting on 9:05. Let's tell these beautiful people goodbye so they come back and check us out next week.
All right, people. Well, thanks once again for hanging with us. I know we get a little long winded, and hour and 5 minutes is a long time, but For all you people that hung with us, we appreciate it as always. You know, we love you. We thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And look, if you came in late on the show, you want to see what happened, look, catch the replay. We got a YouTube channel. It's AlfromDtown. I'm trying to change that, and I'm trying to change the name of this damn Facebook page, too, because when we first started it, we were going to do a couple podcasts, and we had a couple people that wanted to do some podcasts. Everything fell through. So it's just me and Chili. It's the AlfromDtown&Chili442 Show. And I want to change that, and it won't let me. But we're trying. We're getting there. So anyway, guys, we love you. Peace. Like I said, share this on your page just one time, two times. Not the same show, because they'll think you're retarded. But, you know, if you enjoy us, we'd appreciate it. We don't ask you for nothing. We'll never ask you for money or anything like that. But we love you. Peace. Be good to one another. And we'll catch you next time.
Later.